the second funniest situation with me and my dad was a bit before that. So originally, I was gonna have a TV set up in front of my treadmill so I could watch stuff, but I really don't, so it's kind of like a waste of time. But I did appreciate the thought. But anyways, so my dad was trying to like hook up this TV. Like it was like one of those things that are like mounted to the wall. And I was like, Dad, this isn't looking right. Did you read the instructions? He's like, No, no, it's fine. Like this is easy. I'm like, it doesn't look right, Dad. You did you read the instructions? He's like, No, I didn't. And I'm like, I think you should. And so he looked at it and then he's like, this actually doesn't look right. And I'm like, exactly. Please unscrew everything before you break something and please read it. And I kid you not, to this day, I will never forget it. My dad unscrews everything. He sets it up how it originally was. And my dad opens like the paper that came with it, and you'll never guess what it said for the first part of the instructions.
Oh no.
Number one, please read these instructions before you begin. And I couldn't stop laughing. I'm like, does it seriously say that? He's like, yes. And then he showed me the paper, and I was just beside myself. I was like, that is the funniest thing ever. Like that's the thing with me. Like I have learned you need to read instructions before you do stuff. Like heck, like I remember because like now that I put my father under the bus, I should mention my own failures.
Mm-hmm.
So my failure was with cooking. So my mom bought me this pretzel maker because I love soft pretzels, and so like I said, she bought me this, and at first we made the recipe together, and it turned out great. They were delicious, and I was like, this is the best thing ever, and such. And then my mom was like traveling at the time, so I was home alone, and I'm like craving soft pretzels. So I'm like, I gotta make this. And I was super confident. I'm like, I don't need to look at the recipe. I memorized it. It's fine. The answer was no. I screwed up.
Oh
Um, the
no.
first time I accidentally put the dry ingredients with the wet ingredients, so it did not turn out right at all.
Oh no.
So that was the first mistake. And then, so those were a fail. And then the second time was when I put all dry ingredients together. But if you guys don't know, is that when you make soft pretzels, so yes, you have your dry ingredients and your wet ingredients, but there's one dry ingredient that doesn't go in there. Baking soda. Baking soda is supposed to be in a thing of water where you dip the pretzels into, but they're not supposed to be in the pretzel bread itself.
Oh no.
And that's what I did.
Oh no.
And they tasted absolutely horrible. And I remember I was actually home with my dad when I made those. And my dad's like, "Oh, awesome, you made pretzels." And I'm like, "Dad, no. No. You don't want these." And he's like, "Why? What's wrong with them?" I'm like, "I accidentally put baking 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 soda in it. Trust me, it will not taste good."
No. Oh, here's your dad.
Hi, Daddy.
We're inside the Ebon Hawk and all systems are go. As soon as you guys join us, we can get out of here.
Yay! But yeah, I remember like when that fail happened, like I was really done. I was like, I'm never gonna try to make pretzels by myself ever again. But I think it was actually you and my boyfriend that actually encouraged me to try one more time now that I learned from my mistake again.
Yeah.
And so this time I carefully read the steps, and I was able to finally make successful pretzels. Finally. And it was worth it. They were really good. I had a whole bunch of them.
That's awesome.
Yep. Yeah.
I love baking. I actually made these cookies.
You did?
Yeah, it was a little while ago.
Mhm.
And I basically looked up apple cookie recipe because I usually make apple dumplings. So I usually cook a lot of things with fruit and stuff. And I like looked up like this one Betty Crocker recipe, I think, and then I just substituted a bunch of stuff into it. And so I made
Really?
these apple cinnamon cookies. So yeah, I loosely based it off this recipe and switched out a lot of stuff because mostly I'm like, I
Mhm.
don't have this. And so
I don't have this.
when they came out, my dad nearly ate them all. And
Oh, those are the cookies you were talking about where he couldn't stop eating them?
yes, he told me I'm not allowed to make them because he says he has no self-control and he is trying to make sure he has worked very hard on keeping his weight off. So and I was told they are so good I cannot make them anymore. I'm not allowed to.
Wow, that is so funny.
Yeah, I find it hilarious. Like, I make these really good cookies. Oh, really? Yeah, but I can't make them anymore. I'm not allowed to.
My dad told me so.
My dad told me I can't make them anymore. I actually did get to make them for a coworker.
Oh, you did?
Yeah. Make a very long story short, it was around Christmas and there was this thing on clearance that she saw and she's like, oh, it's a little too expensive, a little container, because she likes to bake too, and she didn't get it, so I bought it, and then I was ended my shift, I left it by her register. She's like, what is this? And so she made me some M&M chocolate cookies, and they were really good. And like, well, I want to give this back to her, but I don't want to give it empty. So I put those apple cinnamon cookies in it, and she's like, "Oh my goodness, those were amazing."
Aw, that's awesome.
So apparently, I have found my thing, apple cinnamon cookies. And I have no idea what makes them so awesome because I taste them like, oh, they taste like an apple cookie, no big deal. But
Man, now I want to try them.
I need to find a way to make it when my dad's not around.
Exactly. Because I know I promised you and my bro and my boyfriend those lemon cookies that my mom made.
Yes.
Because like those like are now one of my favorite cookies ever. And I really want you guys to try them.
I believe it's here. I could be.
If you guys probably couldn't guess, we like food.
Food is awesome. Without food, I just die.
I know, it's like we